Hey guys, I hope you're doing well. So I'm going to continue on the series about medical school and how I got to this point. In this video, I'll talk about the application process. So in the last video, I talked about how you need to take those 4 core science courses: general chemistry, biology, organic chemistry, and physics. That's one of the steps that you need to take before applying to medical school. The whole package is what's important, but people need a way to, I guess, kind of measure you. So taking those 4 courses, doing the best that you can in those courses, getting a good GPA, and to me a good GPA is like a 3.0 or above, but like I said, it's the total package. It's not all about numbers. And then the second thing you need to do is to take the medical exam, which is the MCAT. And that's offered throughout the year. You can take it anytime, but it mainly consists of those 4 core subjects as well as some verbal reasoning component. My experience with the MCAT was tough. I used a review course that wasn't necessarily the best for me and my learning style, but there are so many resources out there, and I can't emphasize enough how important it is to talk to people who have done well and also learn the same way as you. And I would also suggest taking one of those core courses close to when you want to take the MCAT so you don't have to restudy that subject. So for example, I took my biology course, I took it over again, and I didn't really have to study for that portion and did well on that, and I just had to review the other 3 components. I can't really give advice on which review course to take. I think a lot of it has to do with doing enough practice questions and just getting in that frame of mind of what are they really trying to ask. And I think that's where I struggled. I took it at least 2 times. I can't remember if I took it a 3rd time, probably. But each time my score didn't really change much. So that's why I think if I had focused more on practice questions and that were similar to the actual exam, maybe I would have done better. Another component of the application are the letter of recommendations. You need at least 3 letters, and it's suggested that they come from science people, but I don't necessarily agree with that. I also think you don't need to stick to 3. So what happens is there's a place where your letter writers can upload their letter. You won't get to read them, but I actually asked, I think, 5 people to write me a letter, and I believe maybe 2 or 3 of them were science, and then 2 of them were not. One of them was the RHD. I was an RA for 2.5 years, so the RHD got to know me really well, and I asked her to write a letter. Another one was a nutrition professor that I TA'd a course for. Another one was a design professor. Again, I TA'd that course and she got to know me really well. And I think one was a biochemistry professor and maybe one other science, but I can't remember. So you can see that that's a diverse group of people, and you want to get people who can speak highly about you and just kind of boast about you, because the people reading the letters, they don't know you, so they need to have these different perspectives of who you are as a person, how you work in teams, all that good stuff. Another component of the application process is the actual application itself. It's on the AMCAS website, and it's a long application. You enter your demographics, you enter all of your extracurricular activities one by one with a little description of each thing. I think that part took the longest. And then you enter all your grades as well. There may have been other stuff, but those 2, I think they took the longest to do. And when you're actually entering your grades, you get to decide what's considered a science. So like I said, I consider nutrition courses a science, especially if it involves like biochemistry or regular chemistry. You can include those in your science GPA. And I think that really helps to get your GPA up, which is the goal. I'm trying to think of what else. I think those are the key things. One thing that I strongly want to suggest is do not ask any person to write your letter that you don't think is gonna write you a good letter. I actually submitted my application twice. I didn't go through the interview process twice, but the first time I submitted my application, there was one letter writer in particular that I actually don't think wrote a strong letter. So the second time I didn't use that person, and I did get interviews. So be careful of who you ask, and you just want to make sure that they know who you are and gonna put you in the best light possible. And on that topic, I'd like to encourage you to not get discouraged.